Hello, soul lovers. So, this is the pick a card reading. Thank you so much if you watched the original and you're also here, or even if you're just watching this one, I really appreciate you. So, we have the original spread out. I've basically just added a tabla from Loteria, and I'm just going to, this is not a technical way to divine with Loteria, I don't think. But this is just kind of what I'm guided to do. So, yeah. Please don't be mad at me, I guess. Can I even say that? Technically, this is not a divination game. Technically, this is a bingo game, but a lot of people will use the cards as divination tools. I feel the need to explain this a little bit because I'm not Mexican, I'm not Hispanic, I'm black from Los Estados Unidos, and I just don't want it to seem like I'm appropriating. This is not my tradition, but from my understanding, it's not closed practice. If that's wrong, I'm gonna need some sources. Somebody tell me. But yeah, I'm just going to use some charms to kind of get more detail for 3 of you. We'll see how many come out. But yeah, I'm gonna use charms to get more details for the stories that come out. So let's just go ahead and wow. Of course, this big one. I probably should take this out, honestly. It's like huge. I feel like it's gonna come out in everything, but maybe not. Maybe not. For some reason, I'm being guided to leave it there. 2 fell out. So it's funny because I was thinking that it would be 3 piles, and I'm kind of being guided to leave this here though. So what I'm noticing immediately about all 3 charms is that they all landed around the sun. This is El Sol. And all 3 charms are around here. So I guess we're going to do pile 1. You are the Ankh, the upside down Ankh. That's interesting in and of itself. Pile 2, you guys are the moon. I think this is a moon and a star, like a crescent moon and a star. Yes. It's interesting that all of these charms came out reversed, but I also feel like that might be significant, so I'm gonna leave it. And then pile 3, you guys have the butterfly, and this is a blue butterfly, which is very fitting for the reading that we had. And then over here we have a triangle with a square, and it was like facing down towards the Knight of Pentacles. And then we kind of have like a star coming off the right corner, the right bottom corner of the melon, the tabla. Honestly, those are so outside of the tabla that I don't think it's important. So yeah, look for the timestamps at the bottom and we will continue your reading at that timestamp. I look forward to seeing you guys. Pile 1, I just saw 3, 4, 5. Look at you. We're gonna take a little sippy sip. So you guys have the upside down Ankh. This is interesting. This is the only, I guess the moon over here is kind of in another spot too. I'm gonna move these other 2 charms. I don't need these. But this is the only charm that's actively taking up like 2 squares. So you have El Gallo and El Sol. And the Ankh is also upside down, which also feels kind of significant. It's interesting because El Sol, that's the sun. And of course the sun gives life. There's something about you guys giving life in a different way with this Ankh upside down. This may not necessarily be talking about giving birth to a human, but instead giving birth to art. Don Clemente was an artist, so I just can't not see it really. I'm going to try to get out of that perspective because I know I might be a little biased in seeing that. For some reason, this Ankh just started to kind of look like a noose to me. Life upside down. It's almost giving a sense of like giving life. I'm seeing 606 on the camera. Giving life to, or breathing life. I just got Bring Me Back to Life by Evanescence. Yeah, it's almost like giving life to the dead. So necromancy is definitely coming through here. It's been coming up a lot recently, actually. And that makes sense because Elopei is a dead energy. I mean, I don't know if I've ever said that out loud before because I don't have proof. But I do just feel like she existed, and I just have to own that. You know, I just have to trust my own intuition with that, which is kind of something that did come up in the general reading, was just learning to, like, getting to your own solar plexus and trust your own gut. Trust what's right for you. And like shedding the ego regardless of what anybody else has to say of it. So that's kind of coming out for you guys, but the specific example that's coming through is some of you guys definitely might be into the dark arts. You may have Scorpio placements, but not necessarily. You're just into the dark art. I will say too, a lot of people my generation have a certain Pluto placement. I want to say it's like Pluto in the 5th house. And that just naturally makes us deep. It naturally draws us to the esoteric and the mystical realm. Even if you're Christian, even if you're like whatever you are, it's naturally going to make you... I'm getting black sheep. It's immediately going to make you deep, and it's the depth that kind of makes you feel like a black sheep. Because you feel like other people just aren't seeing the big picture in some sort of way, or they don't feel things as deeply as you do. I did say in the general reading too, somebody was very sensitive. So you guys, that's what I'm really picking up on for you guys, is that you're very sensitive, either emotionally or psychically or both. And so yeah, I'm also getting imaginary friends with you guys, which I did say. I did say that in the general reading as well. But just know those aren't imaginary friends. I mean, if that makes you happy, Cheryl Crow just came to my brain. If that makes you happy, honey, believe whatever makes you happy and whatever is actually good for your mental health and moves you in the right direction. Something about a chicken with its head cut off, like running around like a chicken with your head cut off. You might feel like that. Like you just have so much to do. I'm getting a 10 of Wands energy, like you might feel burdened or something, specifically with ideas. Because a lot of these ideas aren't, they're yours, but they're not yours. They're yours because they're being given to you by these energies that have been here before. You could call them earth energies too. You could call them earth angels if you want. But you guys specifically work with energies who have been here before. And they seem to love bombarding you with ideas and intuitions and information. And you're constantly just trying to figure out how to use that, what it's for, who it's for, what to do with it. So your soul retrieval is specifically going to get you back in touch with those energies. If you're not feeling that vibe now, just know that at some point in the future, within the next 2 years, you'll start to remember random shit from your childhood. You'll start to get a lot of ideas out of nowhere. You may feel like writer's block is not even a thing for a while. Like You may feel, if anything, that you don't have enough time to pursue all of the ideas that you're being given, and so that may be the stressor for you, is that you just want to do all of it. You may notice that you just start randomly switching up your style in like a very drastic way, not like a natural progression, but this is like going from being all bubblegum pink to going completely goth. Just an example, it doesn't have to be that dramatic. It could be going from long hair to short hair, from non-tatted to you got a whole sleeve. It's something that's noticeable. And it's because of this energy. It's because of this, either this energy or these energies that are trying to get your attention. So I feel like this probably hasn't started yet, or it may be just starting, but definitely within the next 2 years, I do see that coming for you guys. Of course, you have free will. Of course, you can stay prayed up, let whoever know that you're not interested. But I do feel like, I don't know. I just feel like if you're here, you know. You know the life that you're supposed to be living, and you know that you've been out of touch with it, and you know at least what some of the triggers and some of the problems and some of the blockages are, and you just don't necessarily have the bravery, or at least you don't feel like you have the bravery. That's what's coming up with this solar plexus yellow energy. You don't feel like you have the bravery to really see it through, but trust me, Pile 1, you absolutely do. For this to be coming up, you absolutely do. Alright, I think that is all I'm seeing for you guys. Okay, yeah, that's all I'm seeing for you guys. I am getting something about breathing life into the dead, but again, if that scares you, if the idea of necromancy scares you, this could simply just be the idea of breathing life into your ideas that you let die, your inspirations, your passions that you let die. Take the story that actually works for you and suits you, because yeah, it's different for everybody. But alright, Pile 1, that's all I'm seeing for you guys with your upside down Ankh. Very beautiful energy, and I'm very excited for you. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see y'all in my next video. 1414 on the camera, by the way. Pile 2. I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit more. And I guess maybe I could move the Ankh because it's already been read. Maybe we can move the Ankh. Okay. Pile 2. Alright, so you guys have the moon and star coming out with the sun. La luna y la estrella con el sol. That's a lot. You guys, I've been thinking about starting a Spanish channel. Should I? I don't know. I don't know if I know Spanish enough, but that would be like really good practice for me. Anyway. So, yeah, the moon and the star with the sun is wild work in the most beautiful way. This is basically all about the cosmos. And the sun specifically talks about like shedding a light on something, vitality, having energy for something. There's something about you guys tapping into, I'm almost getting derivative. It's like you allow the sun to shine on your moon, basically to shine on you, your feminine energy. That's coming through really strongly with you guys specifically. Allowing it to shine on parts of you in order to become a star. So some of you guys definitely may be wanting to be public figures or celebrities. Very interesting too that I'm seeing how this is like halfway on the sun and then halfway on the crown, la corona. So yeah, specifically the soul retrieval that you're going through is to help grow you into a star. into some sort of celebrity or a public figure. It is going to take some shadow work for you, though, which I think I touched on quite a bit in the general reading. Some of you guys may not have watched that, and if so, it is recommended, not necessary, but I think it would kind of help ground this down a little bit more, because your message is coming through a little vague. Not surprising, because it is the moon. The moon does tend to be a little elusive sometimes, and especially the crescent. But yeah, there's just something about the cosmos and being a star and star seed energy that you may resonate with that as well. But there is some depth to you that even you're not aware of. The crescent moon just won't let me go. Yeah, there's something about how... Oh, but it's also a form of protection. Okay. That doesn't even... So there are some things... 1818 on the camera. Hell yeah. So in case you don't read tarot, 18 represents the moon card in tarot. You may want to look at your moon sign to maybe shed a light on that for yourself. But there's something about not showing your full hand coming through. I know it seems like these days you can't be a celebrity or you can't be a star without being everywhere and oversharing and this and that. Like, there's so much controversy around everybody. Very interesting message coming up with these two, with El Sol and then your charm. There's something about being aware of your darkness, but not necessarily needing everybody to know it. Know your shadows, be self-aware for yourself, but everybody doesn't need to know everything. I feel like some of you guys may unintentionally or maybe intentionally self-sabotage by oversharing, because you want people to know exactly who they're working with. And I'm not even going to call it self-sabotage, because that insinuates that it's immediately bad. And it's not that it's immediately bad to overshare, but the more you talk, the more weapons people have, unfortunately. Not to say that everybody is only listening to you to form weapons against you, but I'm being drawn to Elopei here. But there is something about at least making it a little harder when people try to come for you. It will help if you are more self-aware. But there's a sense that you might not be the most self-aware in this oversharing. Not to say that you're not self-aware at all. But I'm being reminded of a video I did on OnlyFans, where I was like, I'm just uploading all of these videos, spilling my guts. God forbid a therapist or somebody, or like a body language scientist, come to my channel and then they break stuff down that I'm not even aware of, Everybody is an entire universe, and there's really not enough time for us to know ourselves fully. I know that sounds crazy. There is no time. Monks and nuns and different sects of people will try, different groups, different religions will try to know themselves fully, but it's really not possible to know the entire universe from your one perspective. The universe is huge. It's ginormous. There's a lot of exploring to do. You could spend your entire life just exploring one little corner, one little star, one little planet that exists within this whole cosmic universe. Some of you guys may definitely be into space stuff, because I'm getting very spacey over here. So that's kind of coming up with you guys too. Y'all are kind of a mixed bag pile. I'm sorry, pile two. There's also something about where you guys may want to be a star, but you might be nervous about it. You might be like, ooh, when I get famous, people are going to say this about me. People are going to say that. All the receipts from 10 years ago are going to come back up. And there is something with the sun specifically about being okay with that, being confident. That's the solar plexus work that you have to do is I need water. Some of you guys might be worried about like the things that people can say, and so you try to keep yourself hidden even though you actually want like stardom or celebrity or whatever. Coming into that energy, I'm being drawn to the Seven of Swords. That's at the top right from the original reading. If you didn't watch the general reading, this is the second time that's coming up. If you didn't watch the general reading, you're definitely being recommended to. Because it'll kind of help you get your own insights and to ground this down for yourself a little bit. But if you're worried about what other people are going to say or like how you're going to be perceived or like the mistakes that you made from the past that will come up in your fame as you get more famous or more attention, Seven of Swords basically says that you have valid arguments against anything that anybody could say. And this isn't to like demonize the other person or to make yourself look like a saint, but there's something about the way I don't know why this Seven of Swords is coming through so differently today, but I love it. There's just something about the way that you communicate information to where people can see perspectives they may not have seen before. I'm kind of being brought back to this Seven of Swords and it's Seven of Swords, but it's broken up into like Five of Swords and Two of Swords, right? So I'm going to sit here for a moment because this is the card that's really kind of drawing my attention for you guys. With Two of Swords, the affirmation that I always get is that two things could be true at once. And something about the way in which you guys navigate and communicate. You might have Libra in your chart or like high in your chart. But there's something about the way you guys communicate where you can really get people to see both sides, and you're able to do it without demonizing the other party. You're able to help, maybe not the other party, because something tells me they might be biased. I mean, of course they're biased. But something tells me they might be a little fixed in their energy. Or maybe that's just how you perceive them to be. But if you're worried about all of your past mistakes coming up, there's something about how that's not even a real concern for you because you have a valid argument for the way that you behaved or the way that you interacted with every single person. And so I almost feel like most people that you've had these more negative interactions with won't even, they might not even see you, like they might not even be paying attention, number one, but even if they do catch wind of something that you're doing, I don't feel like they would be super quick to have a shit ton of attention and drama on them, you know. But even if they do, let's just say they do want to start some social media shit and like slander your name because you're getting all this attention all of a sudden, that still wouldn't be an issue because you have a valid argument for the way that you behaved. There's something about really needing to look at yourself in the mirror, especially if you haven't already, but really needing to like look at yourself and give yourself some compassion. It's so interesting how much compassion messages are coming through this reading, but specifically self-compassion. There are different circumstances and scenarios that come up that keep a lot of us from behaving in the best character. But it's important to not judge people from one moment of perception. It's important to try to get as many views of any situation or person as possible because that's when you come closer to a fuller picture. I did just say, like, you guys can't possibly know yourselves fully, right? Because you're an entire universe. So imagine trying to know someone else fully. Imagine trying to know the entire universe through someone else's eyes. Like, you don't even know the universe, not the entire universe. You don't even know the entire you don't even know the entire universe through your own eyes. How could you possibly know the entire universe through someone else's eyes? I just got, wow, this is very religious all of a sudden. I just got judge not lest ye be judged, and I just saw 555 on the camera. That might be a quote or saying that you guys live by. You may have like a really huge fear of judgment. And there's something about that you need to overcome, even if you don't become a celebrity. Like, even if you decide that that's not something you want, that's still something that you just need to overcome for your own self-worth. For your own sense of self, too. A lot of solar plexus energy coming up for you guys, so definitely tap into maybe some solar plexus crystals, like citrine, tiger's eye. I'm sure there's more, but those are like my two favorites for the solar plexus are citrine and tiger's eye. So maybe try those or some other solar plexus crystals. If you don't have any of those, you could also just listen to like music to cleanse and activate your solar plexus. There's a lot of different tools out there, so just play around with like getting into your confidence and your willpower. And also, you might want to listen to, and I keep saying this, I'm not trying to do a shameless plug, but it keeps coming up in different ways. You guys might want to listen to Meow Shan's Mercy. It's a song that I wrote with Meow Shan, who's like a legendary Chinese goddess. So you may want to either connect with her energy directly or listen to my song. I have an actual song and then I have the instrumental. So you can listen to either of those. They may activate something within you, but there's just something about needing to give yourself grace, because something about shame is coming up with you guys. There's a lot of shame surrounding your past or who you've been in the past, and you kind of just have to, I don't want to say let that go, because that's so cheesy, and it's also like, tell me how then, bitch. You know, like, I hate when people say that shit, but you may just want to tap into some of that self-compassion so that you can at least give yourself grace. If you can't let it go, you should at least be able to give yourself grace to feel at home and safe with yourself. There's something about you. I'm getting an image of somebody who's like, kind of getting like ex-addicts here, like you may have been addicted to something, and if so, kudos to you for kicking that shit. But there is this sense of like being scared of reverting back, and that's why I specifically got addicts, but this could also just be like going back to an ex that you know slows you down, isn't good for you. This could also be going back to a behavior, a mode of operation, people pleasing, just things that you know don't serve you, but they're kind of addictive in their own way. Like, you just like making people feel good. And you also like having people's approval. There's something about that needs to be looked at. Where does that come from? That need for approval, that need for outside validation. Where is that coming from? What specifically? Because it does feel like for you guys, I just kind of noticed the Ace of Swords. It stuck out to me a bit more for a second. With you guys, it might be like one specific thing that really impacted you in a way that you haven't given yourself time to process. An example for that would be like bullying, especially if you were bullied like really, really young, like as a kid, and you know, maybe it just hurt your feelings severely, but it wasn't physical. Did that come up for you guys as pile? Or was that pile 1? I feel like that was you guys, wasn't it? About the something that's supposed to be a spanking, but it feels like abuse to you. Yeah, so you guys could have been bullied as well, is also something that's coming up. And it might be something that, like, on the surface it didn't look that bad, or it wasn't actually that bad. Like, maybe, you know, you didn't deal with cyberbullying. It was just bullying at school. And even then, it was just, like, name-calling and shit. It wasn't, like, a full-blown fight or anything physical. And so you might have some shame about, like, still kind of holding on to that, or needing validation from people because of that. But you guys have to understand your own lens. The lenses keep coming up. 1123 on the camera. You have to understand your own perspective. And something about you guys is just very hypersensitive, especially emotionally, to the point where you feel things deeper than people are even aware of. Most people don't feel things this deeply. Or at least most of the people you have known don't feel things this deeply. So yeah, look at that one specific circumstance or instance that led you to believe that you have to do anything to gain anyone's approval. Spirit approves of you, and that is more than enough. Spirit, the universe, God, your higher self, whatever your thing is, that's the only approval you need, and it is inherent. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to perform for it. You don't have to be nice. You don't have to be happy for it. Seeing 1, 2, 3 on the camera. I'm getting highly emotional, so I'm going to leave this here. I certainly hope it helped and resonated with you, you lovely pile 2s. But yeah, I will see you guys. I will see you guys in the next video. I am getting something about dolphins. Something about this kind of looks like a dolphin if you just look at it really quick. So y'all might have an affinity for dolphins, or you may want to look into that, especially if you've seen it elsewhere. That's meant to just be confirmation for like 1 or 2 people. If you've been seeing dolphin symbolism pop up a lot for you, this is your sign to like research it or tap into it in some sort of way. Look up the symbolism, something. But alright, soul searchers, that is all I have. I hope this helped and resonated for you, my soul lover pile 2s. And I will see you guys in the next video. Hello, pile 3. So I don't even know if you can really see your charm here, but it is the butterfly and it is blue. So give me 1 second. I gotta take a little sip to tap into your pile energy. I'm noticing how this butterfly is at the top of the head. It's actually a sun, but its reading is a head. And it's kind of bringing me back to this Knight of Pentacles and 7 of Swords over here. If you didn't watch the general reading, you might want to watch that, because that's basically where the original spread is coming from. And it looks like this butterfly is like flying down into the head. And so there's something about like transformative thinking. It's almost like being gifted to you, or it's just finding you out of the blue. I truly don't know where this is coming from. It feels like spirit is almost conspiring in your favor with this, because I don't necessarily feel like you guys have been doing a ton of soul work, and I'm sorry. I don't mean that in a bad way, but I just don't. Or if you have been doing soul work, it's like your higher self or something. Like, it just doesn't feel super conscious or aware. Y'all don't give me like overthinker vibes. Like y'all just kind of go with your feelings, and that's beautiful because it's kind of what this whole reading, the whole general reading was talking about, is that it's less about having a good feeling and more about just feeling anything, like not being numb. And so you guys, especially with El Sol here, like I'm just looking at the look on his face. Like, let me lift this up because I don't know if y'all can really see this man. But El Sol is tired of brightening the world for you bitches, okay? He is done. I'm just kidding. But you see how stoic that is? Like, he's just not impressed. He came here prepared to be disappointed by humanity. And anyway, I just I can't get over the stoicism. And like, this is the same card that has been active for all three piles, but it's just so pervasive for you. Like, it's so obvious. And so yeah, it's like you guys are so numb and so into the numbness. I feel like y'all kind of benefit from the system. So you guys might be Tauruses, and even if you're not, and there's a whole other thing that comes with that. I know somebody's going to be like, wait, why do Tauruses benefit from the system? Because you're the one Taurus who doesn't. No, I'm sorry, that's rude. But either Taurus or people with high Taurus placements know how to play the game, and they're happy to play the game. They're happy to have the rules. They're happy to know how to win. They don't necessarily want to innovate something new. They don't necessarily want to do it the hard way. That's how they perceive it. They don't necessarily want to chase the good feeling. They kind of don't even see a way to have the good life and the good feeling without just following the rules and having the structure and the standard. And that can be a good thing. That can also be a bad thing, depending on what structure and standard is being upheld. So yeah, back to what I was saying. You guys may be Tauruses or have high Taurus placements, but even if not, there is something about you guys that just seems very, like, somehow you benefit from the system. I don't know, like maybe military. I'm seeing 444 on the camera. Definitely the number of structure. Like, you guys are very stable. You guys have played by the rules, and the rules have worked for you. But there's something with this butterfly where it's just coming out of nowhere to like bless you real quick. And it's the word empathy came through. So some of you guys, because what I was finna say before I was drawn back to the butterfly was that I think some of you guys don't understand why some people struggle so much. Some of you guys may not understand why, I don't know, $4,000 a month isn't enough to live off of, you know, before taxes, obviously. Some of you guys may not understand, like, what the huge struggle is. Like, why can't people afford groceries? Like, yes, grocery prices have gone up, but so have your wages. Why can't other people get better paying jobs? Like, something about you guys just feels like you haven't really struggled because you've always played the game. You've never really taken a risk. And even if you have in your personal life, career-wise, I don't know why career is coming through so heavy right now, but even if you have in your personal life, career-wise, you have not taken a risk. You have played by the rules of society. You have played the game that you know wins. You've played the safe game, and that's fine. But because of that, you don't understand why people may just struggle, why people may have it hard. Some of you guys went to college. You have good degrees. You were able to get a good paying job, or you have a good network. You have a good system. Some of you guys have had support that you don't even recognize as support because you feel like it's just part of the system. Everybody should have this. And so you kind of lack empathy is what it feels like, pile 3. And if this does not resonate at all, if you know you are a highly sensitive soul, then feel free to go pick another pile, because I think you may have chosen the wrong one by accident. But if this resonates for you, it's giving that you kind of lack empathy. And I don't mean that as a judgment. I just mean that as you haven't had to go through it. And so you really just truly don't understand what the big issue is. You don't understand why people have such an issue with America. You don't understand why, and that's a specific example because I'm based in America, but whatever your country of origin is, it's like you don't get why people don't like it, why they're constantly complaining. You just don't get it. And so this butterfly is some sort of spirit guide or angel, somebody on the other side. It doesn't feel connected to you at all, really. Maybe it's your Ori, but even then, I don't really feel like it's your higher self. I feel like maybe your higher self permitted this entry, but it's like something's just about to tap you on the head, and like it's almost like a fairy wand, like the fairy godmother or whatever from Cinderella. I'm almost seeing like a wand, and then they just tap you on the head, and I don't know, it just like opens up your perspective or opens up your mind. I just got Free Your Mind by En Vogue. En Vogue has also been coming up a lot here lately, so I might need to look and see what they got going on. I'm just curious. Like when I start getting a lot of one artist, and specifically artists I don't listen to very often, I'm just like, what is this? What's happening? Is everybody okay? But anyway, that's what this feels like. It feels like somebody on your spiritual team is literally trying to, just got the word amplify, but they're trying to amplify your empathy. They're trying to amplify your feeling center. They're trying to free your mind. Ooh, okay, so some of you guys, ooh, how the fuck do I say that? Some of you guys aren't going through, and honestly, I feel like most of you guys in this pile, most of you guys, I'm gonna say some of you guys are not doing the active work to retrieve this part of yourself, whatever this part of yourself is, be it an idea or whatever. Some of you guys aren't actively doing that work. It's more so that you are the soul to be retrieved. You are the soul to be retrieved. You are the soul to be retrieved, but it's not like your soul is just being snatched from your body or some shit. It's like an energy or a spirit guide or an angel, again, whatever resonates. It's like this energy is reaching out to you to work with you because you have the time or the resources or the knowledge or the know-how or whatever it is. You have some sort of information that can actually see this vision through. So let's just say this is an idea, because for a lot of you guys, that's how this is going to come through. It's like an idea literally just hitting you on the head, especially with this Ace of Swords over here, because that's what I keep being drawn to for y'all. It's this sense of like, you are the soul being retrieved because you have the knowledge. It's not that you've necessarily been looking to, let's just say this is an idea to innovate, I don't know, a new type of car or a car that runs on something besides gas. It's not like you have been trying to do this. It's not like, it's not even like you're the first one to do this, but it's like out of nowhere, one day you're just blessed with this random idea, and you have the network and the connections and the know-how to really make this random idea a reality. Now, obviously, that's just an example, but it does feel like for a lot of you guys, it's going to be some idea that comes through, and it seems to come from nowhere. And that's because you are the soul that's being retrieved. You are the soul that's being claimed by some sort of idea, and not claimed like bound. Of course, you have free will. There's been so much free mongering in spirituality that I just feel the need to like over explain everything, and it's getting really exhausting. I'm seeing 1221 on the camera. But that's really what I feel is like, it's interesting that this Page of Cups just kind of ended up behind the Knight of Pentacles. No interference. With this Page of Cups going behind the Knight of Pentacles, like I accidentally bumped it and it moved, and then I put it back and it went under. Like just by itself, it went under the card instead of on top. So what I'm getting with that Page of Cups going under is that now there's no interference. So like this Knight of Swords here, it kind of just seems like it's charging towards you, and that is what this butterfly is. It's like an inspired idea. I don't know how else to say it. And there's no interference with it, so it comes through pretty clearly. And then you're just able to like make that shit happen. You have everything you need to make it happen. There's something about how this idea is still going to activate empathy for you, though. It may not seem like it on the surface, but something about it. I'm getting like, let's just say you work in tech, some sort of tech company or graphic design or something like that. It's like you take on a project for a nonprofit because, I don't know, you're good at it, you can easily make it happen, but then you end up coming into contact with some of the people who benefit from this nonprofit. I'm seeing 1414 on the camera. And it's like it totally changes your perspective because you finally get an understanding of the other side of things without having to actually experience it for yourself. That's beautiful. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Very beautiful, too. I'm being reminded of a video I watched today of, I think her page is called Clean with B. I'll try to remember to link it in your notes for your pile. But basically this lady does free cleans, and she ended up coming across this, or a person got in contact with her who basically, their house was in shambles, and they had, how many pets? I think it was like 11. Maybe it was 9. It might have been 9. They had a lot of animals. And basically these animals were neglected for like 2 years in this horrible, horrible house. It was awful, honestly. I'm laughing because I'm just uncomfortable. But that experience, doing that free clean, getting the animals rehomed and everything, led her to starting a petition to change animal welfare laws in the UK. And I'm seeing 111 on the camera, but that's also kind of what I'm seeing for you. It's like you end up doing something that you may just do for work anyway, but you come into contact with someone or something that like completely flips your perspective and gives you a little bit of empathy, but also allows you to feel some gratitude, because you may take what you have now for granted. You may not even, again, there's just something about the way that you think that you've kind of always had it pretty good. You've always seen it work out because you and your family, or you and the people around you, have always just played the game. Very deep energy. It's interesting that this side of it is just gold and that the other side is blue. So you definitely, and that's why this is coming through as an idea for me, because blue, as we discussed, specifically talks about like the throat chakra. And so there's something that needs to be expressed. This idea is coming to you full force, by the way, with no interference at this point. It's coming to you because it really needs you to express it out. Whatever this idea is, it's meant to make life better for a lot of people. And also make you better in the process. Make you better as you're making it. they want me to replace the word better with whole. Elopei wants me to replace the word better with whole. So it's not going to make you better. It's going to make you whole. And that does feel a bit more aligned. I also kind of keep being drawn to this world image above the sun. So you have El Mundo. And that does make sense that, like, this guy is holding the weight of the world, because as the sun, the sun does, like, give life to the entire world. Not by itself. I mean, the earth also needs water, you know. It also needs oxygen and carbon and all of these different molecules and things. And it also needs the distance that the sun is from us. If it were too close, we would burn up immediately. If it were too far, we would freeze immediately. So it's literally at the perfect distance. The sun has a lot of weight on its shoulders, if it had shoulders, and if it had sentience in the way that we do. It would feel a little bit like this, I imagine, because it's basically having to make sure all of its metrics are right to keep Earth survivable and thriving in a good way. And so there is something about whatever you guys are doing. It may feel like a lot of pressure or a lot of weight, but it's coming to you because you can handle it. And that may have been what you were avoiding the whole time. Like, again, something about you guys just feels like you're okay playing the game. I'm definitely getting military. Y'all do not mind rules. Y'all are not my I gotta fight authority type. Like, y'all are okay with the rules and the structure. And so I don't know if you guys ever saw yourself in any sort of leadership position. But that's definitely the vibe I'm getting for y'all, is that this experience is really going to transform you into the person who can carry the weight of the world. I'm not saying you should at all, but you can, and not only carry it, but have empathy for the weight of others, the weight that others carry. This is absolutely beautiful. Pile 3, you guys have me teary-eyed. I think that's all I have to say. Yeah, that is all I have to say. So I certainly hope this helped and resonated in some sort of way. Thank you guys so much for your beautiful, beautiful energy. And I definitely look forward to seeing y'all in my next video. Until then, I will see you later, soul lovers.